Good afternoon, I think. Sorry, do we all see what this is? Do we all see what this is? Okay, it's a 1,000 naira note. I'm sure for a moment there you think I'm a magician or something. Okay, my name is Seun Odukoya, as you've heard, and I'm here to speak about rape, on the topic of rape. Now, if it were up to me, I would ask all the ladies to go out just to make a point. Contrary to what we've been told, it is in no way a woman's fault if she gets raped. Now, having said that, it's important the ladies are here because rape as a crime affects all of us, either male, female, country, tribe, whatever, you name it. Now, the first time I came across the word rape, I was in GS 2 or 3. There was a woman in my dad's neighborhood. She was a widow. She had 3 very beautiful daughters. The last one was about my age then, so of course I was normal now, I'm a boy. I had a crush. So then suddenly they packed up and left the neighborhood. No explanations, no goodbye letters, nothing. Of course I was hurt until I found out why they left. Turns out they had been robbed. One night, armed robbers had broken into their house, and after cutting all their valuables, they had asked the woman for her daughters. Now she had the presence of mind to ask the kids to hide in the ceiling, so she just said her daughters were not in the house. I hate to think what they would have done to her, but they were interrupted, so they just ran away. So to my young mind then, I came to the conclusion that rape is a crime committed by armed robbers. That's what I thought. And then I went to the university and I met a girl who had been raped by her boyfriend. You can imagine how confusing that would be. Like, okay, is the boyfriend the armed robber? You understand? I was asking myself these questions and they weren't adding up. So I tried to do some research, and the more I found out, the more depressed I became. Now, I think rape is the most unreported crime in the world. In America is actually number 1 country with the most rape cases. South Africa is number 2, in which, according to IRIN News, over 500,000 rape cases occur every year. 40% of South African women will be raped at least once in their lifetime. Those are statistics. Let's come to Nigeria. In 2013, the National Demographic Health Survey submitted a paper, and they said the figures they shared were 17% of women aged from 11 to 46 would experience sexual violence at least once in their lifetime. Now, I think the figures are actually a lot more than that, but let's, for the sake of, 17% is bad enough, right? So, now, and of all these rape cases, the ones with the highest frequency, 73%, is acquaintance rape, which means rape by someone known to the victim. So, I'm going to be focusing on that aspect today. Another thing that has high frequency is man-on-woman rape. That's like 98% of all rape crimes is man-on-woman rape. Now, in 2014, last year, July or August, I'm not clear which month, there was a hashtag trending on Twitter, and it was "I stand against rape." And I think what that was that a couple of people had come together to raise funds so that women could be given self-defense classes so that they could protect themselves against rape. Now, while that is a noble cause in itself, at least that's somebody doing something, I think, and I thought, and I still think that it's still a continuation of the same conversations we've been having. That is, somehow it's the woman's fault if she gets raped. It's her fault. It's because she can't defend herself and all that. Now, let's forget the fact that rape is simply defined as non-consensual sex. As in other words, if both parties are not agreeing to have sex, it's rape. So if it's a lecturer sleeping with a student asking a student for sex in exchange of marks, it's rape. If it's a boss offering a job in exchange for sex, it's rape. Now, I felt that training a woman in self-defense is only as effective up to the point where she's more physically advantaged than our opponent. If the guy happens to be bigger, faster and stronger than she is, all the training in this world cannot do anything. Imagine Jack Chan was a rapist. What woman would want to go again? Seriously. So, I'm going to be talking about 3 things mostly. First of all, one of the most popular myths about rape. Then, 2 of the things I think are mostly responsible for rape, especially in this part. Now, I'm sure we've all heard stories where they say, oh, the girl was dressed indecently. That's why she was raped. Now, how do we define indecent dressing? If I asked you, okay, define indecent dressing, would we say now, okay, a girl wants to go to the beach, she should wear a hijab? I mean, I'm just asking. You know what an hijab is, right? Hello? You know, so, and okay, if we say, okay, because the woman is exposing body parts, she should be raped. It means women should be raped regularly at the beaches. Women should be raped at the clubs. Even the ladies who line Allen and Okwebi every night should be raped constantly. Even the mad woman on the street whose clothes are like rags should be raped. Now, imagine a situation where a 13-year-old girl coming home from Muslim school, wearing a hijab, of course, is raped by 7 men. The same girl goes to her parents take her to the police station to file a report, and the first thing the policemen ask her is, what were you wearing? Does that follow? I mean, we are talking about a 13-year-old. We all know what we were like at 13. I'm sure we were just discovering that, oh, my body is different from her body and so on and so forth. And then you put that burden on a 13-year-old that it was what you were wearing at the time that made it your fault to be raped. Yorubas have a saying, they say, Ole loma nibi to ni kofi nkan esi oda. Loosely translated to English, that means it's only a thief who says where the owner put his property is wrong. I showed you something when I started talking, right? A 1,000 naira note. Do we remember? Now, I put the money here. As far as anybody is concerned, it's my money. Am I committing a sacrilege by putting it here? I don't think so. Am I disturbing the Unilag constitution by putting 1,000 naira note here? I don't think so. The only reason why you guys will tell me not to put the money here is because it's not safe. Am I correct? Which means the act of me putting the money here in itself is not wrong. What is wrong is the perception of whoever is watching. It's free money, so I can come here and take it. I need the money, so sorry. Anyway, I'm sure you get my point. Now, so we ask ourselves the question, what is responsible for rape? If we agree that it's not because a woman was dressed in a particular way or she was acting in a particular way or whatever reason it is, what is most responsible for rape? Now, the number one thing I think is mostly responsible for rape around this part is value. Somehow we've come to the understanding that money is the highest thing on the value chain. Once you have money, anything goes. You can do whatever you like. I'm a rich man. In fact, sometimes our parents, you want to go and tell them stuff like, okay, I just organized a TED talk at Unilag. The first thing they want to ask you is, how much did you make? They don't care about who came there, what message did they leave with. How much did you make? I was telling a friend that, okay, so I'm coming here to speak today. The question was, how much are they paying you? I'm like, no, that's not the point. I'm coming here because I believe I have something to offer. But that's beside the point rather. Now, I used to hang around Unilag a lot, 98, 99. And there was a slang that was popular then, vex money. I don't know if it's still vex money. Does it sound familiar? Okay, vex money is simply defined as insurance money a lady puts in her purse when she's going on a date with a guy because she's not sure the guy will behave himself. We've heard stories of guys, you are coming home from the Galleria or wherever at 11 p.m. and the girl she doesn't want to go home with you. Therefore, you chase her out of the car on the 3rd Mainland Bridge at 11 at night. We've heard stories of guys who invite a woman over and then they stall, they waste time, and when it's late, like 12, they start asking for sex. She says no. They chase her out of the house at 2 in the morning. I read an article online. They were talking about the understanding of rape and forceful sex. According to the article, they had gathered a group of men and they asked them, which of you would rape a woman? 2% said yes. Which of you would force a woman to have sex with you? 8% of them said yes. Meaning, somewhere in their mind, they think there's a difference between rape and forceful sex. I thought, I'm a Nigerian, so I thought, is the water those guys drink, Jare? That kind of thing cannot happen here. So So I gathered a group of guys too, and I asked them the exact same question. Would any one of you rape a woman? All of them said no. Would any of you force a woman to have sex with you? It depends. I was confused. It depends on what. Then they started, if she's my girlfriend, of course I would. I mean, it's my entitlement, it's my due. Why would she deny me sex? I don't know what school we went to where we learned that is a, entitlement. Because you are a man, therefore you are entitled to. I mean, January last year or so, a very popular comedian around here shared a joke on his Facebook page. Well, what he called a joke. Now, this joke attracted a lot of backlash. And the joke went something like this. In the joke, he was comparing African women with their white counterparts, dating habits. So for white girls, he says something like, first date, coffee, second date, kiss, third date, sex. For African girls, he says, first date, fast food, second date, hug, third date, Chinese restaurant, fourth date, kiss, fifth date, attempted sex, failed, sixth date, shopping, seventh date, cinema, new phone, more shopping, eighth date, attempted sex, failed, ninth date, rape. You are laughing. Now, I thought it was a very responsible thing to say, but the truth is, it's a representative of the mindset of a lot of us. Because, like I said earlier, money is the highest thing on our value chain, so everything comes under money. I've spent money on you, so therefore, I'm entitled to certain privileges. Another thing is that I would like to talk about is the social construct, so to speak. And I use that term loosely. We hear sayings like, good guys finish last. The bad guys get the girls. All these things are popular. It's almost as if society has decided that, okay, it's not popular to be a quote-unquote good guy. And by good guy, I mean, the guy who's respectful to ladies, who's very nice, considerate, and whatever. We have a name for guys like that around here. We call them magas. Am I correct? I mean, socially acceptable behavior. Now, I want to belong. I want to be one of the happening guys. I mean, this is a university campus, and we know popular guys, we know unpopular guys. We know things that popular guys do, we know things unpopular guys do. There are some people who pass through this school, and you never know they came. Not because they were not brilliant, not because they were not good looking or serious, but maybe because they didn't have a car that was playing loud music all the time. Maybe because they weren't happening. If you ask them, what are you doing this weekend? I'll be in my hostel reading Psych 101. You ask another guy, what are you doing this weekend? Quilox is happening. We are turning up at Quilox. So, at this point, you start to look at yourself like, okay, is something wrong with me? Like, okay, why can't I be one of those guys who everybody seems to like? I mean, let's not forget, the bad guys get the girls. And reality is, as a guy, the first thing you almost want to do once you realize that, oh, I'm different from these people who wear skirts, is like you live for them. You want their approval, you want their admiration, you want their respect, whatever it is. Now, because of this desire, are we now supposed to forget ourselves, forget our values, forget what really matters? I had a mom. My mom used to tell me, she would say, how you treat a woman who is in your company is not a reflection of who she is. It's a reflection of who you are. Remember what I did with the 1,000 naira note? It's a matter of perspective. How do you see what you look at? The fact that there can be 10 men looking at a indecently dressed lady and not all the 10 men will start thinking of sex immediately means it's not the object that is the problem. It's the perception of the object. So hopefully we'll have more conversations like this where we'll challenge ourselves as men to be more responsible, take responsibility for our actions. Because ultimately, like I said earlier, 98% of rape is man on woman. We have to be responsible. I don't think there's any pleasure in forcing a woman to have sex with you if she doesn't want. In fact, when we were growing up, we had a girl we liked, 4 of us will sit down and plan out a strategy. How do we get this girl? How do we get her to say yes? Okay, say this. If she says this, say this. If she says this, you got, say this. So I think that's, it's the sport, it's the challenge. Now, to round up everything I've said, I would like to say this to everybody, but the ladies in particular. We have to understand, men and women are equal. Men and women are not the same. The same way a dollar is equal to 220 something naira, but it's not the same. They are not the same. A man at Underbridge Anthony, 11 p.m. is likely to get robbed. A woman in the same place at the same time is likely to get both robbed and raped. This is not the world as we would like it to be. This is the world as it is. So while we have these conversations and hopefully make a difference ultimately, it's also important that we know we are responsible for ourselves and others and act accordingly. Someone asked me a while ago if I thought we could win this war against rape. Honestly, I don't think so. But I think we can put up a damn good fight. Thank you.